Does that make it pass?
Yes.
Does that make it pass?
Yeah.
We passed.
It will. Miss Harris, cute shoes. Cute shoes.
Does that make it pass?
Yes.
Does that make it pass?
Are we live? Yes. You're
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's a regular meeting, Commissioner of Liberty County, Texas. We have, let's see, Commissioner Arthur's here, Commissioner Karbowski is here, Commissioner Wilson is zooming in with us. Also, we have Mr. Maselli from the Auditor's Office, Wayne Gott, also from the Auditor's Office, who is the auditor. Mr. Harkness, our Hospital Precinct 6, Bill Huggill, our Fire Marshal, Stephanie Keaton, Assistant Purchasing Agent, and Catherine McCarty, our Assistant County Attorney. So we have everybody here. We do have a board established this for the court this morning. If you would all rise when we get started with the first thing. If you lead us to the pledges, please.
Yes, sir. Please face the American flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please face the Texas flag.
I, the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
And Clint, if you would please lead us in our invitation.
Yes. Father, we come to you this morning. We do ask for wisdom. We ask for blessings for this county and our citizens. We thank you for all the blessings that you have bestowed upon us, Father. We ask that you bless this team as we lead this county and make the lives of our citizens better each and every day. Be with us in all that we do, and all these things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. The first things we have today, proclamation. Bridgehaven Children's Advocacy Center and Liberty County Child Welfare Board proclaiming the month of April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in Liberty County. And Cindy Ray, actually, Connie Jordan are here with us today. Y'all would come on up.
Oh, Bridgehaven.
Bridgehaven? Yeah, come on up. Okay. You snuck in on me.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good morning.
Doing great.
Good to see you.
This is Caleb Blanchard. He's a CPS supervisor.
Jay, I can see. Look at, stepping all over.
I'm not shutting down technology.
I have a child abuse prevention and awareness. Y'all noticed all the little, what do you call those, pinwheels? Y'all really are nice. Thank y'all. That does bring the awareness to the month of April that it is Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. Whereas we have a responsibility as individuals, neighbors, community members, and citizens of Liberty County to help create healthy, safe, and nurturing experiences for children. And whereas nearly 200,000 children in Texas are reported as abused or neglected every year. And whereas safe and healthy childhoods help produce confident and successful adults. And whereas child abuse and neglect often occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations without community resources and don't know how to cope. And whereas the majority of child abuse cases stem from situations and conditions that are preventable and in an engaged and supportive community. And whereas child abuse and neglect can be reduced by making sure every family has the support they need and deserve to raise their children in a healthy environment. And whereas it is recognized that no one person can do everything, but that everyone can do something, and together we can create change for the better. And whereas effective prevention programs succeed because of partnerships among agencies, schools, religious organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And therefore, now be it known that I, Liberty County Judge Jay Knight, do hereby proclaim April 2021 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in Liberty County, and urge all citizens to engage in activities that strengthen families and communities to provide the optimal environment for children to learn, grow, and thrive so that all children have a benefit of happy, healthy, safe childhoods, as well as a month of remembrance of all children and families in Liberty County whose lives have been impacted by abuse and neglect. It's signed this 13th day of April 2021. Liberty County Commissioners Court and myself.
Appreciate it. You have one for us and one for Bridge.
I sure do, yeah.
Thank you very much.
And,
You work a lot with the same
Appreciate
children.
Yeah, the importance of this, what y'all do for the folks, even with CASA, also joined it too, and they're also are Chambers County, and we're for them too. So it really is quite a teamwork effort, what these groups do to help children. And my wife is on the CASA board also. So I get to listen to the meetings and they are really good. And I learn a whole lot. So just watching this and even seeing some of the things that come through, court with children too. So thank you for everything y'all do for your efforts. And boy, we need y'all. Be stronger than ever. Okay. It's the one time I feel real tall.
I told you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, number 5, after the notice of proclamations, public comment, there's no one's been signed today, so we do not have any public comments. Number 6, consent agenda. You'll have the opportunity to look over this, and if there's anything that you have a question about, we can always move it over to the regular agenda and take time to address it. If not, Dwayne, do we have any
No.
no space? No.
Mr. Burton,
Yes,
what is
sir.
a blue tent, just for curiosity?
It's a big like canopy, but it's not just a normal pop-up. It's a
Okay,
commercial kind of great one that's been sitting downstairs for years and we figured someone should use it. And so
thank you.
it'd be better used than sitting in my closet.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to approve consent agenda.
Okay, we got a motion from Greg and Bruce same time. I'll just go ahead with Greg.
Second.
Second, Bruce. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 7, regular meeting. Regular meeting. Mr. Huggerman, you're on there this morning. You have number 1, consider and approve order authorizing Memorial Day fireworks sales.
Yes, good morning. We, the state mandates the times when we're able to sell fireworks, and it's left up to the county to provide whether it's acceptable or not. So this is Memorial Day time.
Yeah. And what are our numbers looking up like right now with the forestry service and such?
So in between low and moderate is where we're at right now, but we're expecting rain tonight and tomorrow. So that's going to go down.
All right. Thanks, sir. What's the court's pleasure?
I move we approve.
Motion from Greg, second from Leon to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 2, Mr. Birch has jail maintenance issues to consider and approve the purchase of 13 new cell locks and 12 new strike plates, Liberty County Sheriff's Office Jail, State Jail Commission inspection requirement, and we do know this is ongoing, so. And Mr. Birch comes with 25 years of lock work with TDCJ, so I'm pretty sure he has a good reason for that. You want to elaborate on this a little bit?
Thank you, Your Honor. I have provided the commissioners and the judge here a copy of this document, including Mr. C, and I sent one to Commissioner Leon and one to Commissioner Whitmire. I have put it in numerical sequence. The low bid that we have for these locks and strikes is $19,215 from Universal Security Products, which is a subsidiary of Folger Adams in San Antonio. The second one is from Craftmasters Hardware. It's for $21,229. And the last one is from MTI Montgomery Technology Systems for $34,222.50. Now, as you all know, we've been dealing with the jail commission inspectors and the consultants, and we are a breath away from being made to extend our final inspection. And we'll never pass unless we get these locks on order. Now, to keep us from being 100% out of compliance today, we have red tagged that area so they can't put any inmates in there. So if somebody shows up, we're not currently out of compliance. But as you all know, we have inmates housed in other counties, and we're paying to house them in other counties. And one of the things that we're going to have to do to get them back is to replace these locks. So,
Did price include installation?
we're going to install them. The one company that offered to install them, their total price was $55,800. So I wish you'd take this, in serious consideration so we can pass muster for the jail inspection.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dwayne, Don, you got any comments on this yet?
I don't know where he's planning on getting the money from. He's only got $13,000 left in his budget.
Well, I was looking at the unanticipated revenue that we approved on consent agenda. Was this the 19,000 part of that, or is this above and beyond that?
That's something different. No, that's something different. That's something different.
Next question is, do we have the money for this?
Well, not his budget, we don't.
Well, in order to get these expedited and completed before the next State Jail Commission inspection, is there someplace we might can get that from to help out this matter?
I mean, I really don't know why somebody didn't come over here and talk to me before it was put on court. I mean, they're putting me on the spot. I'm gonna have to look at this and see.
Right now, it's gonna probably cost us more money by keeping those jails shut down than it would be to fix the lock. So I'm gonna make a motion, we approve this, pending that we're able to find the money.
Okay.
I'm gonna second that.
All right, so we have a motion to approve with the caveat that we.
Don, did you have any comments on that?
I'm just going to comment, excuse me, because we're having a reg tag sales, our jail count keeps going up, we're about to have to ship more inmates out.
Yeah.
Other locations. So it's another cost.
And we anticipate this inspection to be probably in May or June.
It's coming up right for it.
You have to if you have to shut down 10, 12, 15 jail cells and we have to ship inmates out, it'll cost us a lot more.
Okay.
Well, as soon as I find a line item to, charges to, I'll authorize Harold issue a PO for it.
Okay. All right, got a motion from Greg, second from Leon to approve with that, those conditions being met first. All in favor, say aye. Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Burns. Morning, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, sir.
I know y'all been busy.
Yes, sir.
Number 3, Ms. Harris, our county treasurer, consider and approve the updated Liberty County investment policy.
Yes, sir. So this morning I had, before you, I sent out yesterday, so I hope everyone has a copy of it, but I sent out the updated investment policy that includes, just for the most part, housekeeping items that needed to be.
Excuse me, Jay.
Yeah.
I can't hardly hear Ms. Kim.
Okay, can you kind of come around here?
Let
maybe
me
get a
come
little closer?
on. I sure can.
Yeah, to the
I'll
microphone.
come look at you, Leon.
I'm sorry, Ms. Kim, I just couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can now.
Okay, I'm gonna scoot this over just a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so the investment policy that you have before you today mostly contains changes that are housekeeping items. The items that have lines through them are being redacted. The items that are underlined are being added. So that just lets you know what the changes are. The most important thing that I believe is included in our investment policy is on page 3, and that is the safety of the principal. It says Liberty County is concerned about the return of its principal. Therefore, safety of principal is the primary objective in any investment transaction. I think that's the most important sentence in the entire policy. The rest of the policy complies with the Texas Public Funds Investment Act, the Texas Public Funds Collateral Act, and it's also just based off of the previous investment policy that was passed. If you look on page, one of the additions that have been made on page 7 under the prohibited investment transactions or investment instruments. The underlined sentence there is, in addition, the Liberty County Investment Officer is bound by all provisions of Texas Government Code, Chapter 2270, prohibition on investing public money in certain investments. There's a long list of those, so they're not all specifically listed here, but the reference made to Chapter 2270 and the fact that all of those items are prohibited is probably the biggest change to the policy, but all of those things are quite obvious. There are things like investment in the government of Iran or terrorist governments. So it's those kind of things that are mostly obvious. Everything else is pretty much a housekeeping item. So unless you have any questions, that's pretty much it.
Any questions?
Make a motion to approve. There you go.
Thank you so much. We got a motion from Bruce to approve, say Greg. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Leon, I can't see your picture. There you go. I still got to see your picture to make this right. I mean, it's a great picture, by the way. Number 4, tax census collector Richard Brown. I know you're busy today, but consider and approve contract for assessment and collection services for Dayton Lake Estates.
Go ahead and get up here.
Yes, sir. Please do.
Right. Good morning.
Morning.
This first item, number 4, is basically revised assessment collection service contract for Big Lake Estates. I look back in the record and I think the last one we did was in 1985. So just like a lot of our other entities, those have stood, I think Judge Kirkland's the one that probably initiated most of those contracts. We're not really changing the monetary cost or anything. We did, with the effort that's been ongoing, kind of updating Big Lake Estates. I know Clint's been involved in getting some new people involved, where we send the money, who gets the check, that kind of stuff. So while we went ahead and that contract is still good, we went ahead and used the new revised contract that we probably got updated 3 years ago, I think. And that's requires the judge to sign on behalf of the county accepting it. So we are recommending that you do sign that. We have inserted the new names, the new city secretary, the mayor, and all these things. So it's a lot more up to date than the old was, and it's a lot more current for us. But it basically carries the same rules and regulations. It's a small entity, so they pay a flat fee or a percentage. You know, and that's kind of how it works. But it's not a big collection. I think altogether they paid everything. It's about under $10,000 annual taxes. So I do recommend that you do proceed and sign that so that we can get that updated.
Okay. Any questions? Entertain a motion. We approve. Second. Motion for Greg. Second for Bruce to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Last next. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 5, don't spend. Consider approved tax refund in the amount of $8,005.37 due to taxpayer Martin Cruz, payable to Jack Miller Law, LLC, OLTA account.
Yes, sir. Of course, we do the day-to-day refunds without having to go to court, but there is a tax code requirement that is in excess of $2,500 to get the bring before commission. As you can see, this is $8,005.37. All the proper paperwork has been executed, and the refund is always made to the party who made the refund, not necessarily the taxpayer, whoever paid it, but whatever caused the refund to happen, that's who it goes back to. In this particular case, there was a $13,938 was tendered, and it created an $8,005.37 credit on this particular account. I don't even recall the circumstances why it happened, but sometimes one pays and the other pays it, or third parties pay it. But anyway, the end of the day is we want to get that money back to the ones who both paid it. So I recommend that we do approve the $8,005.37 refund payable to Jack Miller Law. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion, Bruce, second for Leon. All in favor, say aye.
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 That's nays. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's see, next one here. Greg, consider approving the waiver of penalty and interest for customer Mark Boyd, account number 64000 for $18.16.
Yes, so this is a little different matter, but again, it's return of penalty and interest. This is the county's pro rata share of the penalty and interest. The case is something that was done a while back. We just kind of dropped the ball on finishing it up and found it was still outstanding. So we're bringing that to the court's attention to send out, and it is $18.16 of penalty and interest. Typically, it's something, a CAD error or something like that, that causes us to have to refund penalty and interest, proper billing or something matter. But $18.16 is what we're recommending to be returned to the customer because of that reason.
Motion to approve. Second. Motion for Bruce. Second for Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. And let's see, a couple more there, Rick. Consider, number 7, consider to approve the overpay refund to Gene McDowell in the amount of $3,365.61 for account number 37944.
Oh, yes, so this is back to refund in excess. This particularly 3,365.61 for account number 37944. And this refund was paid by Gene Dow. So we are returning those funds to the owner's name was Arnold Construction Company, but the payer was actually Gene McDowell. It's something on Crescent Heights. So it was a 2018 refund from the 19 payments of 3,365.61. Recommend that we refund.
Okay. Let's say.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Leon and a second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 8, information item. Okay, this is going to be good because it's motor vehicles collection report and also the property tax collections for the year 2020.
It's kind of a report card for the year, Judge. And, we require to give you an annual report, of course, we provide auditors and coming with all the month stuff, but this is actually kind of a summary. And what we do this every year. We take the active collection season from October 1 through this particular one is March 31st. So, and then we compare it to 10/1/19 to 3/31/20. So basically 2 points in time, we compare 12 months apart. First of all, the annual Department of Motor Vehicle report dated January 2020 through 12/2020. And I'll explain this one, but the collections that we took in through our office was 15,459,225.14. That was lower than the year before, which was 17,958,385. However, what would probably be of more interest to the commissioners, the road and bridge fund for this year was 360,131.24 compared to last year's 360,365. So a mere $235 less to road and bridge. So even though it was a couple $1 million less in gross collections, the net to road and bridge wouldn't get suffered from it.
Yeah, I think that was part of the COVID.
Well, exactly. And
Yeah,
in fact, that's what we're dealing with right now. There's handicap there right now because, of course, the governor's waived all registration, late registration, title transfers. But that day, sunset is coming April 14th.
Mm-hmm.
So, point of interest, if anyone out there has a unrenewed registration, you need to get it renewed, or you will be ticketed for late registration. That's been waived since March of last year from the COVID. We got a report as of November, Liberty County had over 25,000 registrations that were outstanding that didn't get processed. Now, they said it'd take about 80% of that. Of course, a lot of those have come in. Fortunately, a lot of our people kept renewing it. They didn't just take the vacation and holiday and actually renewed it as we went along, but still 25,000 is a lot. And again, a lot of people, I think there's some press out there. We tried to give notice, posted signs, but there's still a lot of people out there that probably gonna get surprised when law enforcement actually starts ticketing them.
Would you do me a favor and let the folks know where they can procure their new registrations? There's several places to go. You can
Yes.
do it online.
Yes, yeah, we, of course, all of our 3 locations, Thrifty's in Dayton.
Yeah.
Of course, what they offer is extended hours. You can go on the weekends. The one caveat with them is you can't have one that's 8 months past due. It has to be within 30 days. So the other thing is, you can go online. Nothing prevents you from registering online. Pay $1 extra. It's probably worth not waiting in line and stuff. But we've always been kind of, even pre-COVID, our office was really available to the public. No one really ever had to step foot in any of the tax offices because they could go online, they could pay through the web, go to the grocery store, a lot of these things. But fortunately, if there was one good event out of the COVID, it's educated people. They don't have to actually walk into the brick and mortar buildings that we have. and then we were able to continue to serve people, even though we may not be in the office.
Liberty Tax Office on Highway 90.
Yes.
The
Okay.
Dayton Annex,
On 1960.
and then the Cleveland Annex.
Right.
And
Yeah,
the Thrifty's over in Campbell.
Campbell, Thrifty's in Dayton, and the HEB in Cleveland.
Okay.
Now, they have kind of sensitive hours, like after 3 o'clock, but again, we can tell, because we pay them so much per transaction, we can see a lot of people are utilizing those, but don't even worry about any of those. You can go online and do it, text DMV, and you can, go to our web and do it as well.
So
So
you have that posted on your website.
we do.
And what is your web page, website?
I'll get back with you on that.
Okay.
I don't frequent it that much.
Well, the thing is,
But you go to Liberty County, it'll go to the tax office and it'll get you.
people are gonna be calling, we just want to try to give them a heads up.
Yeah, and it's a big change, but it's been coming. We posted these warnings probably 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And we kind of keep it in front of the public. But again, I just got one of mine done yesterday, so I can't say that I heeded the warning either, but I got it in.
All right, we're gonna play catch up there.
Yeah, but anyway, back to our report, you can see we still had a lot of volume this year. That's almost 15.5 million. Kind of the better report is property tax detail. And again, this is for that same collection period from 10/1/20 through 3/31/21, which is the crust of our, big 2020, that's our big time that we collect our money, even though it trickles in before and after.
Mhm.
And compare that to the year before. The collections this year, gross receipts for all the entities that we collect for, which is not the Dayton School, not the Tarleton School, not the Devers School, but the other 26 entities or 27 entities. Gross collections were $103,663,104.28. Compare that to a year before of $9,335,479, a difference of $13.3 million or 14.75% increase in gross tax revenue. So again, 103 million, 15.5 million, that's close to $120 million has kind of flowed through our collections this year.
Also, would you explain to all the people that are listening, who you collect for? Well, maybe just say who you don't collect for.
Yes, sir. Which that includes all the entities in Liberty County. I think there's, with the new additions, I think that's up to 28 or 29 right now, with the new MMD and the MNO. But we don't collect for Dayton School, which is a big taxing entity. So I know their revenues are probably in excess of $20 million, at least probably 30 million this year. Devers, quite smaller, but then Tarleton, which is a pretty large tax district as well. So I don't have their numbers in front of me.
So Devers, Dayton, and Tarleton.
That's the three that we don't collect for. We collect for everybody else.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking this is people will see this number, 103 million, though.
It doesn't all come to the county.
This,
Yeah.
but we don't.
And I did have the county's numbers. I don't know that Joanne stuck that in here for me, but it was a pretty modest increase as well. I can report that back to you next time, actually how much Liberty County's increased, but I'm sure it reflects the same percentage because it's one of our bigger components of our taxes.
All right. Any questions? Leon, got any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right.
Move it through.
Well, there's no, this is no action on this item. It's
Just information.
Is it a take no action one, or do you move to accept the report?
We approve, we accept the report.
Second. Okay. We can do that. We got a motion from Greg to accept. Second. Bruce. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion does carry. Number 9, permits inspections. Mr. Douglas, consider, and you keep your seat because I know it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And just make sure Leon can hear you. All right.
Leon, can you hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Consider and discuss authorization for the County of Liberty to issue requests for proposals, RFPs, for administrative services and request for qualifications, RFQs, for professional services for the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Okay,
Good morning, gentlemen. We were contacted about a week and a half ago. The federal government, this is part of President Biden's plans for recovery in the U.S. They have dubbed this the American Rescue Plan, ARP. And we've been advised that Liberty County is eligible for $17,109 or $17,109,000. The problem is we don't have any instruction from the federal government. They have no plan yet on what this money can be used for and whether we would be eligible to get some of it. It may be housing, it may be infrastructure, it may be health. We just don't know at this point. And so all we're trying to do is get ready for a possible opportunity. And to get ready for that opportunity, we need authorization from the commissioners to go out in an expedited manner later on to secure a grant consultant and an engineering firm to handle this project. Now, again, it may not ever materialize, gentlemen, but it's just something that we need to get ready for so I can pull the trigger on it in a very rapid process.
Okay. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from Leon. To approve, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carried unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Singh, come on here and visit with us. Number 10 is consider and approve the lease agreement with Pitney Bowes for the lease of a postage meter machine. The date annex for $144.34 per month for a 60-month lease period.
Okay, last meeting I did one for the city, Cleveland Annex. Their machine was to be renewed, and now this is the date annex. This is for another 5-year lease. It actually ended March 31st. It's about $250 more a year. When you look at it with a new machine. I did talk to them. They said they use it quite a bit and would like to renew.
Okay. Let's say the court.
Make a motion to approve.
All right. Everybody gonna say it today. Mail out there. Got a motion from Leon, second from Bruce. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, sir. So here we have the number 11, consider and approve contract with West Thompson Reuters for law books.
Okay, y'all have passed, or y'all have approved this in the past for 253rd, DA, it's probably county attorney, and I'm sure county court of law. 75th, has not had this contract, they've had it online, but not the actual books for a while. This would update the books, and I feel they need to do that. They have money, they have line items, so they need to do what.
Okay, make a motion to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 12. See, Harold is consider and approve soliciting bids and approving specifications for asphalt overlay and road bid number 1.
We want to hire a contractor to do some work. We actually did asphalt overlay back in October, this is free. And this one by itself is gonna be way over 50,000, so it has to be bid out.
Okay. So we're just soliciting bids.
Yes.
Okay.
Got some roads I need asphalt.
What do we do?
Make a motion we approve.
Motion from Leon, second from Greg to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 13, consider and approve soliciting bids for burials and transports. This is getting expensive, so we got to address this a little bit for people. We got a lot more people passing away in our counties. Okay.
County auditor let them know that they're close to or right at 50,000 already this year.
Threshold.
6 months in the year. So we definitely need to go out for bids on that.
Okay.
Is this the first time we've been out for bids for this? Or?
Yeah, I don't think it goes quite that high. We discussed it a couple of years ago, but we never had actually done it.
Well, just the number always stayed a little bit lower. And then, but now we have a lot more people coming in the county. The county is picking up the ticket.
When we wait for bids, we're gonna go out for, storage too, David.
I don't know, what I do is,
I need to have it.
as we start putting it together, I work with Wayne and let the judge know, we'll kind of decide what we actually want.
And how would that work since Liberty County's so large and we're gonna have several funeral homes that are going to be doing this? Instead of just normally a bid process, we would choose one. We can't do that this time.
Well, I mean, you don't have to choose one for everything. It depends on how we word the bids. It might be by area. And also, back to your question, and I'll get Matthew, if you would, the county attorney to check this out, but I think the only thing we require is the pickup and transport. We're not requiring all the extra stuff they're trying to charge us. But we'll be aware, we'll make sure that's right before we do it.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Bruce, second from Leon to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 14, Harold, let's consider and approve an order granting a discretionary exemption from LGC, which is Local Government Code, Section 262.023 for burials and transports, which this ties with the other.
Yeah, I put this on there because it's gonna take several weeks to actually do the bid in case it starts going over. And I think it probably will. Matthew agreed that it's kind of a public health and safety thing, you don't have to pick them up and move them, so. If we just do that until we can get the bids out and back, that will cover us, I think.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion from Bruce, second Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Wise nays, motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 15, Harold, we're just gonna wear you out.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Terry.
Consider and approve the purchase of 4 vehicles from Grapevine DCJ in the amount of $163,440 through the buy board contract number 601-19 for precinct number 2.
Okay, Stephanie, she's in charge of dealing with all the co-ops and shopping it around to get the best prices. And I don't know if she has anything to add or she needs to, but as long as Greg is, I know you've looked at all this. And
Yeah, we looked at it. The 2 service trucks are critical at this point.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
A motion from Bruce, second from Leon to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes, nays. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's see, here, number 15 is consider and approve the purchase of a John Deere 6105E cab tractor and an Alamo Samurai boom mower from Shopper's Farm Supply for $116,174.74, including a trade-in of a 2007 wore-out John Deere 6415 through Sourcewell contract number 052417. I'm sure that is wore out too.
Yeah.
2007.
Okay, this is one where it's good, like I say, Stephanie's shopping around. You'll see as we go on, we're using 4 different co-ops to all this stuff. This is Sourcewell, which I think we've used them once before or twice before, a long time ago. We are a member of the Sourcewell, we can use them, so it's a better price than buy board now. And both the tractor, the Alamo mower, and the John Deere tractor are on Sourcewell.
Okay.
A motion to approve. Second.
A motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
This is for precinct 4. Right?
Yeah. Let's see, number 17, consider and approve financing for this new John Deere 6105E cab tractor and the Alamo Samurai boom mower through John Deere financing. You got a good rate?
Yeah, we have in your package, I don't believe you have it, but it's, so the John Deere Financial, he wants to finance through those. It's 2.9% for 60 months. And this has 129,414, and that's before the trade-in. So what I usually do is put on here and they'll approve that it can finance it through John Deere. They'll send all the paperwork, they'll put that back on court for the final approval.
Okay.
That's gonna be a municipal lease, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Approve.
motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. The motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 18 is consider and approve solicitation, receive bids for the renovation of approximately 3,780 square feet of space inside Liberty County Courthouse for the use of the county court law number 2. Okay,
Yeah, that's another one. Stephanie's spearheading all the construction stuff. She put this on here, but I think, working with, Vern, we need to.
ready to move forward? Okay. So we're gonna solicit the bids and get the bids in, then we'll decipher the bids once we receive them. Okay. We'll say the court.
I approve. Make a motion to approve.
Motion from Leon, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 19. We're still wearing Harold out today. Consider, approve, and sign agreements provided by Burns Architecture with RABA Christner Consultants in the estimated total amount of $66,713 for the new Sheriff's Office and JP3 Annex construction materials, observation and testing service. Fees for this service were included in the conceptual budget amount and are not associated with the CMAR contract with White Construction. And we need to name a funding source for this 66,000.
Okay, this is an outside source away, not with White Construction, so it's a different contract. Kind of like our watchdog to check what materials are used and make sure they're okay. I have a couple of questions about this. I'm not sure what the time frame will get this done, probably pretty soon. We may have to have a special meeting if y'all mind, but I would like to table this because I got a couple of things that need to be answered for you.
Make a motion to table.
Second. Motion for Bruce. Second from Greg to table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. The motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Harold. Number 20. Consider purchase of one vehicle from Caldwell Country Chevrolet in the amount of $41,845 through the buy board contract number 60119 for precinct number 3.
As long as Commissioner Whitmire's happy with it.
Commissioner Whitmire is not with us today, so.
Okay. Well, I know they've been contacted, or at least Mr. Johnson has, so they're happy with it.
Let's say the court.
Second.
Got a motion from Greg to approve, second from Bruce. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. 21, acknowledge master cooperative purchasing agreement dated December 3rd, 2019 with the Sheriff's Association of Texas Incorporated in Liberty County for utilization of their vehicle procurement program as needed.
Okay, this is another co-op that, they've been around for a while. We've never really joined them. You know, we've kind of looked at their prices in the past, but stop shopping around, Stephanie found a better deal for the next item on there. So this just makes us a member, basically, here was agreement with them.
This is the Sheriff's Association of Texas. Okay.
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion from Bruce. Second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carried unanimous. Almost a hair, just give us one more. Consider, number 22, consider approved purchase of one vehicle from Mack Pike in the amount of $35,471 through the Sheriff's Association Cooperative Group for precinct number 4.
That is, as long as Leon's happy with that. Good.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from Leon to approve. Yeah. Leon.
I said aye.
I see that hand though. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 23. Sheriff Rader Consider and approve transferring back to precinct number 3, the 2017 Chevy Silverado pickup truck. Then is listed in the packet. That's the one that came with the, I guess, the air boat. Is that correct?
It is,
Okay.
So Chief, y'all.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Leon, second from Bruce. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. 24, consider and approve allowing the Liberty County Sheriff's Office to accept the transfer of 4 Heine scales from the Liberty County Constable Precinct 2 office. Scale numbers are listed in the packet. These are for the license plate.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those nays, and motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Joe. Number 25. David Douglas, this is yours. This is considered and approved minor replat in the Harvest Acres subdivision in Splendora.
I think Harold's got me beat on the numbers here. I've only got 6 items now. Yes, sir, this is a request from the young lady. She owns approximately 6 lots in this little subdivision, and she's wanting to reconfigure that into 3 lots. The drainage aspects of this are unimpacted. There's access to public roads from each of the lots. So we're going to recommend to you that you go ahead and approve a replat on this particular matter.
Any questions?
Does it affect anybody else in the subdivision?
No, sir.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from Leon to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's see, David, we have number 26, consider and approve 2-year road maintenance agreement program for Santa Fe 4 and 5.
Yes, sir. These roads have been in our system now for 2 full years. I was up there last week and rode them all out. There's somewhere that's showing on them, but they're concrete, and that's to be expected. So what I surveyed, what I looked at up there was acceptable. And so we're going to recommend to you that Santa Fe 4 and 5, that the roads in those 2 Santa Fe's be taken over by Liberty County for future maintenance.
Mr. Whitmer, Commissioner Whitmer.
I have not spoken with him about this.
Make a motion to approve.
A motion from Bruce to approve.
The roads are satisfactory.
Yes, sir. I rode them all out. I spent a whole day up there, and I rode them all out. They're not pristine. They're not like concrete that was poured yesterday. They've got some surface cracking, fracturing. However, that's to be expected on concrete roads that are 2 years old. The shoulders look okay. All in all, I think they're within the parameters of what Liberty County looks for and can do to accept them into the maintenance program.
Oh, sir.
Got a second from Greg. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, gentlemen.
Can I make a comment here just as an informational item?
Yes.
We received Santa Fe section 11 is the next proposed section of Santa Fe. The judge and I have talked about it. There's almost 2,000 lots in Santa Fe 11. So that's going to put the total Santa Fe's 1 through 11. You're going to be looking at something in the neighborhood between 15 and 17,000 lots in that area. So that is very quickly becoming the largest city in the region. That's a side note, chasing a rabbit.
Gotcha. What's the court's pleasure?
Make a motion to approve.
Everything's been looked over by LJA and approved by their.
Yes, sir. This is on the, a replat of a reserve. And so what they did when they did the original plat, they cut a reserve section out. And LJA has looked at it. Manuel Mendoza has recommended that it, or has advised us it's within our parameters. So yes, sir, it is my recommendation that we accept this.
Second.
We've got a motion from Bruce, second from Greg to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. 28, consider and approve authorizing the acceptance of the certain drainage easement at White Oak subdivision, section 3, block 1, block 20, donated by Chad and Lisa Igius, that is needed for the county to render assistance. You want to maybe run this down just a little bit on the rendering
Yes,
assistance?
This is a drainage easement that Commissioner Wilson and his foreman are well aware of. They have an issue there where some drainage needs to be done differently. It's coming under a road and hitting a bluff and embankment, and then it's turning. And so the turbulence of the water is going to undercut the road. And so they came to me, said they wanted to do a drainage easement in there. I don't know how drainage easements have been done with Liberty County in the past. My background with the city is that you have it surveyed, you have it platted out, you get a drawing of it, you get the governing body to approve it, and then you file it with the clerk. And so that's what we're asking you to do here. We've had this survey, LJA surveying, I surveyed it out. They have provided me with a plat, they've provided me with meets and bounds. And so we are now ready to move forward on this thing, get the owner of the property to sign off on it and file it with the county clerk.
Biggest problem.
Let me explain in a little better detail what we're having. This is a natural drain ditch that comes onto the property of the property owners, and it makes a hard 90 and continues out into a main flood control ditch. What it's doing is it's eroding these individuals' properties greatly. They're losing their property. And our discussion was with them that if they would give us the easement, it would allow me and the employees to be able to get in there and make the adjustments to that ditch to help the erosion of their property.
Matthew.
I'm sorry?
Is there anything we can put in this that identifies this thing 10 years down the road? Because that's the majority of the problem I'm having with a lot of these easements is no one has any record of it.
No, that's correct. I mean, everything that I know, I haven't looked into this in detail. Everything that I know says that the process David Douglas describes is exactly correct. It takes this body, Commissioners Court, accepting it for us to maintain it. Tell me a little bit more, Commissioner Wilson, if you can. So they're asking us to take it over so that their property doesn't erode. What feeds this drainage? Where does it go? What are some of the other factors here?
Well, it comes it's a natural it's a big natural drain ditch, and that area right through there is kind of hilly. And what it does, it crosses a county road. And once it crosses the county road, then it makes a hard 90. And we have been been having to make adjustments to that east side of the county road because of it actually continuing to erode the county road.
Oh, I
and
see.
The bank.
Yeah. So
it enters onto their property and makes a hard 90 and travels south into another main drain ditch. We get this approved, I believe we would be able to do is make the adjustments on that ditch to one, help me and the people of that area from erosion of the roadway, and two, it would help those folks who are losing their property, because they are losing their property.
If I might, the turbulence generated in this, it's going to eat under the county road. In fact, it's already eating under the county road.
Yeah, just, okay, yeah, let's go do that, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Yeah, motion. Motion from Greg, second from Bruce to approve. My voice is gonna go out in a minute. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. I got a new sinus bill last night, and it's mad.
'Tis the season.
Tis the season. Sure is. Number 29. Consider to approve preliminary plat for Santa Fe section number 11. And it shows here, David, that LJA is approved.
Yes, sir. LJA has received the preliminary plat. Basically, what they look at is the configuration of the lots, are they the right sizes? That's what you look at on the preliminary. Again, this is the subdivision section that I mentioned to you earlier today. It's got almost 2,000 lots in it. And so it's a large section. They have met all the requirements for a preliminary plat. Manuel Mendoza has given it thumbs up. So we're gonna ask you today, if you would, to approve a preliminary. The final, which comes with the construction plans and the drainage plans, will be reviewed subsequent to this action today.
So for the record, we're not approving anything that LJA hasn't already approved, looked at for as far as drainage and any other.
No, so they will not look at the drainage until they get to review of the final plan. This is preliminary.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Bruce, second from Leon to approve. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Last nays. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Number 30, consider approved preliminary plat for Hidden Estates, section 3. And this is also LJ approved. That's the one down in precinct 3.
In precinct 3, it's on 301 south, I believe. This is their third section. And they always develop in the same manner every time. They do 5 lots. And the lots are 3 to 5 acres. Mm-hmm. And so they're getting some nice homes in there. At the prices they're charging for this land, it takes some nice homes to justify it. Mm-hmm. So we're going to ask you to go ahead and approve a preliminary plat. Then, as we did with Santa Fe 11, the final plat is where the construction drawings and the drainage drawings, that's where all that's reviewed.
Okay, say the court.
Then we approve it.
Second.
Motion from Greg, second from Bruce to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
31, Constable Precinct 6, Mr. Harkness wants us to consider and approve the division of one 80-hour per month part-time position into 2 40-hour positions. This division is due to a scheduling conflict with deputies' full-time employment. These positions are part of the interlocal agreement for law enforcement services between Liberty County and Liberty County Municipal Management District Number 1, which was dated February 23rd, 2021. Zach, are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Enlighten us a little bit more on this and what you're requesting.
Yes. I have one 20-hour deputy that he can only work 10 hours a week. So what I'm asking for is to hire on another deputy who can work 10 hours a week. That's it.
Sorry. Anything serious?
No, I think that's fine. Whenever the budget specifies one position in a part-time position, we can only fill that position with one person. So he's just asking to divide it into 2 people for the same amount. So I don't have a problem.
And do you have any problems?
No.
Well, I'm just puzzling through, as I always do on issues like this, about the creation of a line item mid-year. I'm not sure what you think about that, Dwayne.
Oh, there's already a part-time position line item in there, so. I mean, it doesn't.
I guess it's budget neutral.
Yeah, it's budget neutral. I don't have no problem with it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Budget neutral makes sense to me. Yeah.
I'll make the motion we approve.
Thank y'all. Got a motion, Leon. Second, Bruce. To approve, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Likewise, nays. That motion carries unanimous. And that is it. Need a
Make a
motion.
motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion, Bruce, second, Greg, adjourn, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.